Welcome back to Sonny Talk Spurs, and today I'm talking about this with a heavy heart. It's Mauricio Pochettino going to Chelsea. But before I get into this one, please can you smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel for the latest Tottenham Hotspur content. Now, let's get into the video. Now, as we know, it is Ange Postecoglou's first week at the club at the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. But if we go from North London all the way to West London, it's also Mauricio Pochettino's first week at Chelsea. Now, when the news came out, at first, I was not too fussed. I didn't want us personally to go back to Pochettino. I feel like you should never really go back to your ex, whether it's in real life or as your manager. Players are different. I think you could still get the most out of a player. But when you've severed ties with a club, sacked a manager, that's it. I don't really think it's good to go back in general terms. But that left the door open for Pochettino to go to Chelsea. Obviously, there were reports, Tottenham fans wanted him. They were singing his name in the stadium towards the end of the Antonio Conte era. Fans were also quite on the fence about it as well. They just were really not liking the football they were seeing. And Daniel Levy reportedly never contacted Pochettino over the Spurs job. Now, make of that what you will, but I still back that decision technically because I think we're going to go down the better avenue by having Ange Postecoglou a fresh identity. A bit like when we first of all appointed Pochettino way back when. But I feel like, if we look at the end of the Pochettino era at Spurs, it was sort of coming to it. It was all unravelling. Obviously, Levy didn't help the situation. We didn't really back him as a manager, but the style of football was being impacted. Our league form was being overshadowed by an amazing Champions League run. Don't get me wrong, that was an amazing time. One of the best times I've had as a Spurs fan. But we were horrific away from home. We were horrific at home. That was the beginning of the end into what we've experienced over the last couple of years at the football club. But obviously, like Ange, Pochettino has given an interview with Chelsea's in-house media. And I'll be honest, I could only manage I think it was the first half was 9 minutes, and then there was a second half, which I haven't even looked at, but I watched about 2 minutes of it, and I could not watch it. Seeing him in that gold Chelsea training top, it breaks my heart. It really upset me. I was furious. I couldn't listen to what he said. And here are some of the quotes here. He said, "It was easy to say yes to Chelsea. We'll work hard, play in a way the fans can enjoy football. The history of Chelsea is to win and be at the top. We can't have up and downs." I mean, you're talking about the most fluctuating club in football history. It's had the most up and downs that I've ever known. 1 minute, you're finishing 10th. Then you're winning a Premier League title and a Champions League. You sack managers like it's going out of fashion. And you're caught, I feel like you need to gauge the fan base, mate, before you've even got there. Because they didn't like Graham Potter, so you've got to really get them on side now. And then he says, in the last 10, 12, 15 years, Chelsea is the greatest team in England, which is wrong because it's Manchester City. Don't get me wrong. They've won 2 European Cups. Impressive. But then again, that was against the run of play. But Manchester City have won a treble. They've won endless amounts of Premier League titles. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. It's just very PR, I'm not going to lie. And it's just a bit upsetting because obviously going into these interviews, he's going to say stuff to appease the new fan base. He has got to get them on side. But this is the Pochettino who didn't want to go to Barcelona because of Espanyol. He said he'd never go to Arsenal because of his love for Tottenham. He probably wouldn't go to Portsmouth because of his love for Southampton. Yet he's saying all this about Chelsea being the greatest club. There's a different way you can address that without basically putting a middle finger to your former fan base who adore you, who see you as the best manager since Bill Nicholson. I just find it a bit odd. And even reading reports, I think Matt Law tweeted that he put on an Argentine barbecue for players and staff. Even that upset me a little bit. I was just like, you just remember the sort of atmosphere and ambience he had at the club and that pool, and it was just... what a time to be a Tottenham fan, really. It's just, it is going to be hard. I can imagine when we face each other. I'm not sure which. I think Chelsea come to Tottenham first in the season. I dread to think what the atmosphere is going to be like there. We had flags of Pochettino. loved him. He was respected. He was one of our own, you know, because it was a bit different because he did come in as that unknown entity and built himself up and really put him on to centre stage. And I just feel like a side like Chelsea could rip him up and spit him out. I mean, he's been at PSG, which is a similar sort of vibe of, you know, sacking and hiring and firing managers and having to work with superstars who have egos. At Tottenham, it was quite tailor-made. The only person he had to wrestle with was probably Daniel Levy. So it is just a very odd situation. And at the end of the day, we've had Chelsea managers, AVB, Conte, Mourinho. Like, who am I really to judge when that happens? But with those managers, maybe take AVB out of the picture, the other two, they didn't want to be in Tottenham. They were just there for a payday. You know, there wasn't really that emotion. You know, Jose had probably been scorned by Manchester United and Chelsea, so was trying to prove a point. Antonio Conte probably saw it as a payday. You know, he signed a short-term contract and wanted to walk away at any point possible. So, yeah, I feel like this one is a bit different. But let me know in the comments down below, Tottenham fans, how do you feel after seeing all this Mauricio Pochettino PR spin? And do you actually think he means those things about Chelsea? And Chelsea fans, if you're watching this, do you think I'm talking a load of waffle? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you have enjoyed this video, why not leave a like, smash the subscribe button. I've been Sonny, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.